This video is going to look at how to annotate a PDF in the app Goodreader. I already have a PDF loaded into Goodreader. If I tap the middle of the screen, it brings up all of the editing and annotating tools. There's a little pin here that if I tap that, those tools will remain there. The other tools at the bottom there do a range of things like bookmarks and changing your pages. And so at the moment, I'm on page 1, and this will take me through the different pages. And just making it a bit bigger, pinching and zooming it. And this video is going to look at is the actual annotating tool. So that toolbar along the right-hand side of the screen, and go through each one of those. And let's just start with the second one. Leave the bookmark for now. That second one there is the typewriter tool. So if you actually want to type some text into your document in whatever colour, we'll tap where I want the text to go and just type in some text and save it. And it comes up, the last thing that you actually did, it remembers that setting and it comes up. Now, I don't really like that, so I can hold that down and move it around, and hold it and done. But holding it down brings up the different options. So this was a cloud. So I don't want the cloud, so I think I'd rather have the call out. Cloudy. Off. And it's filled. So maybe I don't want any filling. No colour at all. Change the size. Make it 14. The call out. You can move the border. So there's quite a lot of things you can do with your text. Holding it down again can move it around. Done. So holding it down, you come up with all the different options. So change the colour of the text and make it red. Select. Now this one here is the pop-up note. So again, just hold down where you want it to go. This is a note. And save it. And then you get this little question mark here to indicate that if you tap that, something will come up which encloses your note. Now again, holding it down, you have different options for that pop-up. So the key, have it look at different shapes. There was a question mark, a triangle, a key, this one. So you can decide which sort of shape you want it to be. And then you've got your colour. So maybe I want to have it red. And holding it down again, I can move it around over to the edge of the border. Done moving. Holding it down. I think I like the question mark. Whatever you selected last is the setting it's going to remember next time you do it. So if I tap again and pick the notes, it's already read test and it's remembered the question mark. So it's fairly good. Make that one a key. And you can only pick one thing at a time. So yellow. And then every time you touch it, just tap it, it'll open. If you hold it down, you've got the options and you can change it. Then I can delete it. And yes, really delete. The ABC one is the highlighting tool. So highlighting at this stage it's going to be highlighting in red. So if I didn't want the red, I could change that colour immediately. Let's make it green. Hold my finger over the text I want to highlight, and you can actually see it moving across the words. So holding it down and dragging it down will select more text. Holding that down, there is no other options there. You can't change anything else. You only get to change the colour in the highlighting tool and then save it. Now once it's saved, you can't undo this. I can hold it down. It's going to bring up all the options, and just selecting text is going to allow me to copy it. I cannot undo this at all. If I start again, go to the highlight tool and change the colour to red, hold it down. I can undo it here before I save it, undo it the whole lot, redo the whole lot, save it. But once it's saved, there's no way that I can see anyway that you can undo this, the highlighting at all. Let's go to a different page. We'll tap the screen and use the arrow key to move to a page that hasn't got any annotating on, just make it a bit bigger. And let's look at the next tool, which is Underline tool. And again, it brings up a little toolbar at the top there where you can change the colour. So I just want to underline that sentence. I'm just going to run my finger across it to underline it, hold it down, and just to see if there's anything else you can do. No, there's nothing you can do here by the look of it. No text under finger, it's very clever. Making it blue, change the colour to a different colour, and underline, underline, save it, hold it down, and again you get the same problems. There's no way that I can see it. You can take that off. I can hold it down and I can copy it, and I might be able to hold that down, but I can't paste it on top of the PDF. I can create a bookmark there. So for page 5, this is the FaceTime. So I can at least go back to that page, and maybe I'm going to add an annotation here, just put a pop-up note here that we're at the capture screen. So perhaps I wanted to add some notes here in a pop-up note right at that point. I can then open, or I can create a bookmark here. A bookmark, page 5, pop-up notes. So one of the tools down here is to actually look at your bookmarks. They're all the annotations that I've done, so you can actually see all the annotations. There's the bookmarks that I've created, so I can go back to those anytime I like. But the annotations are done automatically. So they're all the things I annotated. I didn't have to do those at all. And I can email myself a summary of those. Close that. So the next tool is the squiggly line. So it's going to be similar to the underline, but squiggly. So let's do it in blue. And again, let's make that bit bigger. Holding your finger under it will just give you a squiggly line, whatever colour you have selected. And undo it, redo it, save it, select it again, the tool. Pick a different one, change its colour. Gives you the, if you do other colour, you get the palette, so you can pick your own one. So maybe I'll have a pink, select pink. But you can't make any, by the look of it, save. You can't make any other alterations. So if I hold it down, there's no way I can change the width of that line or do anything else with it. So it's fairly limited. The next one is the Strikeout tool. So let's change the colour to maybe black. And this is if you want to cross out a line. So holding my finger over it, I can cross out that line of text. Cross out another line of text. Completely. And you have the undo and the redo and the save. And again, holding it finger down, there's not much else we can do to change that. Unless I come back in here. It just gives me a note to add to it, I think. So holding that down, let's just delete that and do that bit again, really delete. Holding the finger down over it, if I select the Strikeout tool, I can actually do a little note. Maybe this is what I want to replace it with. Replace this text with this text and save. So that when you come back and look at it, you've crossed this one out, and then you tap on that. This is the text that replaces that text. And close. Let's pick a different one. That one. And select Strikeout tool, replace, save. And there's the replacement text. If I tap on that, It gives me the text. If I hold it down, I can move it or open it or delete that blue thing. Delete. Right, so the next tool is the line tool. Draw a line. So let's make a different colour. Let's make a red line. Hold your finger down where you want the line to go, and it'll just drop a line there. It leaves you with a couple of blue markers at the end, which you can drag to make the line bigger. Then done when you're ready. Holding it down gives you the option, so you can have the opacity not so bright. The size of the line, it's at 5 point now, maybe I want it at 9 point. I think there's anything else. It's just size of the line, the opacity. You delete it, you can move it. So if we hold that down there, we can move the line up here, maybe have a thicker border. And again, it gives you the opportunity to make that smaller, and then done. The arrow. So it looks like the same tools. You've got the thickness of the line, the opacity of the line, the color of the line, of the arrow. So just dropping a finger down is going to give me the arrow, and I can make it bigger or smaller. It still takes on the same characteristics of the last one, the thickness of the last one, which we've done, and then change that. So holding it down, maybe a 1 point arrow, holding it down will give me, or just holding it down there will move, will allow me to make it smaller. Done. Holding it down, maybe I need it a bit thicker than that, on it 2, and in blue. And if you don't like any of those colours, you've got other to bring up the palette. So it's maybe a green one this time, and you can choose from different colours of green. And holding it down, move, will allow me to move it around the page, and then done. Rectangle tool, same options, colour, thickness, opacity. So I think we'll put a rectangle around this last section. So just putting my finger on the 18 will give me the rectangle, and then I can drag it to put it around what I want it to go, and done. Before I then hold it down again on the green to give me thickness, which you can do a little bit more than this one. The cloudy, let's make it a little cloudy rectangle. Turn the cloud off. Uh, Opacity, perhaps not as dark. And if I wanted to, then maybe I could put my arrow and move the arrow around here. So holding the arrow down and move the arrow, I can drag it by the blue markers and drag it the direction, and done. So you can sort of build up quite a lot of good annotations. So this will be the circle one. So let's find a new page perhaps. Tap in the middle. Oops. Tap away from an annotation. Tap in the middle. Let's pick a different page. There's nothing on there. Look at the circle tool, the oval tool. So just drop my finger there and put a circle around maybe the whole thing. I want to emphasize, and done. Hold it down to change the color. And you have to keep holding it down different for each different thing you want to do. The opacity, want it to be 100% blue. And then, I mean, inside that you can then put other text tools. So perhaps I want to type something inside that circle. So with the typewriter tool, I can tap in here. This is a circle. Save. And then hold the text down, get rid of the call out, and just move it in. So I can annotate text, circle or an oval inside text that's already there. the handwriting tool and the eraser tool. So if I hit the freehand, and I can write with a stylus or my finger, just anywhere on the screen. Problem with this is that it's really big, and I can change the colour, green, and the thickness. But that's very, very big writing. If I want to erase it, then I'll save it first. The eraser tool and just rubbing with my finger will rub out all of that handwriting. And then save that. There is a better way to write freehand notes. So you need to tap the freehand tool, and then there is a little magnifying glass down the bottom left. Now I can move this particular input box anywhere on the page, and wherever I stop, it gives me a little box at the bottom in which to write my text. So using the stylus, I can write, and it's looking quite large in the bottom right there, bottom left, but in the actual box, it's quite small. Now there's an undo arrow, which will take it letter by letter, and then a redo arrow, and then I can move the box. So the right arrow there will move the box along, so you can continue to write, which makes no sense, but doesn't matter. And I can still at the top there change the colour, but that's going to change the colour of everything. So I don't think you can have different colour handwriting unless they're in separate boxes, perhaps. And then do the right arrow, moving it along. More handwriting, and return, which will get it to another line. So when you're done, save. And so it looks a lot better than me just hitting the freehand tool, getting rid of that writing magnifying glass and actually writing it here. It's more control. And save. Then with the eraser, save. The eraser, I can rub it out, and any extra bits that I've done and made mistakes with, can rub them out. And then when you're finished with the eraser, save. The other thing that freehand has is a wrist guard. So if I tap this one, it'll bring up a wrist guard. So at least it sort of saves me writing something on the lower half of the text accidentally. And you can move it up and down. And then save. So the options with the freehand again is just different colours. So if I hold down, after I've written it, hold down the text, I can have different sizes. So I can change the sizes after it's been written and the opacity. So maybe it's a little bit too dark, so I just want something in the background, and then holding it down again can move it. So I can move the whole block of text to a different place, and done. So if I want to do different colour handwriting, I have to open up a new one. So I now want red and a new magnifying tool and move it out of the way. And this one is red, so I can do more text, and it's taken on the same characteristics, the opacity that I picked before, more text, and save. And that one's in red, the first one's in blue. Now to see all the annotations that you've done, you can go page by page, using this arrow and going from page to page yourself, up and down the pages. The quicker way is to hit the bookmark, so tapping the middle of the screen, the bookmark, and it lists all the different annotations that you've done in this document and when you did them. So if I was looking for when I did a pop-up note before, I can tap on that annotation and it will take me directly to that annotation, and then I can tap on it to see what the actual note was that I sent. Tapping the bookmarks. If I've made a bookmark, so going back to page 5, that will take me back to page 5 and that bookmark that I created before. Annotations, I can email a summary of the annotations to myself, so I sort of knew what was there, which doesn't really help, I don't think, but it's there. But finding them, this one is very useful. Going to the bookmark, looking for the annotation, there's the key, and it'll take you straight to that particular place. That's all.